Well, good evening here from West Pier here in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And so it's funny that the ice in front of you has been moving from left to right. I guess it might still be kind of, but it was moving quite quickly. And just before I started to hit record, I heard like this crunching sound and it just stopped. So it's interesting. So let me zoom out here. We are at West Pier. And I am standing on one of these lovely piles of snow. They're getting pretty small though. This one has definitely shrunk a lot. So, and there's my truck, and Argo's in there, nice and warm, so don't worry about him. But I did bring him though, I didn't leave him at home. So we have a few things going on here. I'm pretty sure that the near ship you see there, that is the Bicayne Bay. I'm pretty sure about that because their AIS hasn't been working. I've been hearing them on the radio. And the Morro Bay locked through, so I'm pretty sure that's the Bicayne Bay. I've not gone down there to look, but I'm pretty sure that's who that is. And then to the right, that's the Saltie, was it Musala? They're over there at the Algoma export dock. I think it's Musala. And here to the left, you'll see there's the American Sentry. They're behind the Morro Bay. See them right there. And then I don't think I have enough zoom. That's all the zoom I have. But if you look above that that truck there, that's a U.S. Customs truck. In the distance, you'll see a ship. And that's the Algoma Guardian, right there, coming down. So there's a lot going on here. And you might be like, well, why is the American Sentry just sitting out there? Well, that's because with all the ice here, they can't tie up. So the ships can't pass here like they would in the summer. And I was thinking it was funny with all the ice going, from left to right, because there's a ship coming out of the lock. You'd think they'd be pushing the ice. Oops, sorry. But the ice was going against them, which was not what I was expecting at all. In fact, I need to definitely getting darker as I do this. That's the John J. Boland right there, coming out of the lock. I heard them call the American Sentry on the radio. Apparently they're having some problems getting the gate open, which I was confused about. Because when I walked Argo this morning, most of this ice wasn't here. We had a wind out of the east yesterday, which pushed a lot of this ice out. But you see that's changed because now we have a bunch of ice here. So that explains why they're having problems getting the gates open. And I'm hoping the American Sentry doesn't have the problem the American Integrity had yesterday, where they brought so much ice into the lock with them that they're having problems getting into the lock. Like there was so much ice in front of them that it just would push them backwards. They had to like winch themselves in. It took them hours to get into the lock with all that ice. So I'm hoping that doesn't end up being the case. It's a tight fit with the footer, and they generally kind of hug the wall over there, so yeah, we'll see. I am going to zoom out here just briefly, just to show. Maybe you can see the ice is now moving from right to left, which is what you'd expect with a ship coming. You'd expect it to be pushing the ice out. Still lots of ice, of course. Its days are numbered though. That is for sure. There they are. They're heading across, I think, to Duluth. Could be Superior. I think it's Duluth though. And they said on the radio once they got free they would try to get out the way. Let's see if we can't get some ice and bow action here. It all should be pretty loose and broken up. It's 40 degrees and it was in the 50s today. So I don't think anyone's worried about the ships getting stuck because it's not going to refreeze. And there aren't any big plates left because the Coast Guard broke all those up. So they have been busy. Yeah, they got a pretty good pace going. That was a big chunk of ice. It almost sounds like the thruster's going, their bow thruster, but I don't know why it would be. Oh, it is getting dark. I keep turning the ISO up on the camera. Let's see if we can't. Yeah, they got it. Putting the spurs to it, that's for sure. I think I will hang out here. I'll stop this here in a moment and see if we can't catch the American Century coming in here. So there we are. This is technically, if I can get out just a little bit more, technically that's a threefer right there. So we have the John J. Boland, we have the American Century, and the Algoma Guardian, sorry, out there in the distance, which you probably can just barely see. But that is a threefer right there. We won't count the Bicayne Bay because they're tied up. Same with the Musala. But yep, legit threefer. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll be right back, like literally right back, with the American Century when they get a little bit closer here. With we're gonna call this like part 2, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. But I'll be right back in another video.